Hi, how are y'all? This is from Burmese USA YouTube channel or Facebook educational page. I do have a Facebook educational page as well, so if you want to check out some posts, you can do so. Find me at Facebook by Burmese USA. All right, today I would like to talk about, um, actually, we're going to practice. Um, the brand name of the medicine that we've been using very commonly for common medical patients in the United States, and actually they have the generic name. When I used to work internationally, not in the USA like previously, I call those medicine name differently because in the different country, and mostly we use generic name which are quite long, but it helps me so much to understand um, the name of the medicine and what it is made of. Most of the medicines has like different chemical names. But anyhow, when I get to the United States, when I start working in the United States in the hospital, a lot of nurses call like brand name, which is shorter, better, and I think I better even learn about that because when I give report to them, and it's kind of weird that they don't understand most of the medicine that I talk about, or I don't understand most of the medicine that they talked about. Okay, so let's get started, okay? The first drug is very popular. It is acetaminophen. Um, in other places, we call different brand name, but the generic name is acetaminophen. Acetaminophen. And here in the United States, we have the brand name called Tylenol. So acetaminophen or Tylenol, they usually come in 325 milligram. Then we give 2 tablets, which become 650 milligrams. So acetaminophen or Tylenol, 325 milligram times 2 tablets. Usually those are given for pain or mild pain or fever. The next drug is the syrup medicine for cough. The generic name is dextromethorphan guaifenesin. Dextromethorphan guaifenesin. The brand name of that medicine here we call in the United States is Robitussin. Robitussin. Another medicine, very common one, we give either for pain or it's very common to give it for those patients who has the heart problems or high blood pressure, is aspirin. A lot of people call aspirin, I call it aspirin too, but the generic name of aspirin is acetylsalicylate. Acetylsalicylate or aspirin. Another medicine is bisoconazole. Bisoconazole is generic name, and the brand name is Dulcolax. A lot of people just call it Dulcolax. I think I remember that I also called Dulcolax when I used to work in Singapore as well. So bisoconazole or Dulcolax. Those are suppository medicine. Is to help with the bowel movement. And another common medicine is famotidine. I remember I call that famotidine all the time. I never call it Pepcid, which we call here in the United States Pepcid. Pepcid, okay? So Pepcid, that is famotidine. Famotidine is the generic name, Pepcid is the brand name. It's for the stomach. It is the treatment for GERD, G-E-R-D, or you can also call the long name gastroesophageal reflux disease, mouthful. Another drug name is furosemide. Furosemide is generic name. We call it here in the United States Lasix. I don't know if I call that Lasix. in Singapore too. I don't remember. If you know what you call furosemide in Singapore, let me know. Some of the medicine I don't remember how I call it back in the time when I used to work there. So furosemide, generic name. The brand name here, United States, is Lasix. It is to treat for congested heart failure, some swelling. It will make you go to bathroom and pass urine. There are some common insulin we use in the United States. So the first one is insulin glargine. I remember that I used to call that Lantus as well. So insulin glargine or Lantus glargine, I believe, is generic name, and Lantus is the brand name. And that's a long-lasting insulin. And there's another one called insulin Lispro. That's insulin Humalog. That's very short acting. Long-lasting, long-acting. That's what I meant. So Humalog is the brand name. Lispro is the generic name. That's the short-acting insulin. Another medicine, and it's really funny that I call it Levo because it is levothyroxine, and I never called it Synthroid in my life before until I get to the United States. Then, when I say, "Oh, I give my patient Levo at 6 a.m. in the morning," and everybody like shocked. They thought Levo is levofat. Okay, so levothyroxine, that's the generic name. Don't call Levo in the United States. For the levothyroxine, it is Synthroid. Synthroid is the brand name that we call here in the United States. That's for thyroid. That's the replacement for the thyroid hormone. The next medicine is metoprolol. Metoprolol, the spelling ends with LOL. Those are beta blocker. It could be for the blood pressure, to bring the blood pressure down, or also could be for heart, to give you the stronger heartbeat. So heart might be slower. Some people with the very, very high heart rate, like 100, 110, or 105, but with the metoprolol, it can give you heart slower and stronger beat. But anyhow, metoprolol, here we call it low pressure. Low pressure. Metoprolol, low pressure. So this medicine we use a lot for patients who has nausea and vomiting, especially the effect from like a narcotic medicine. It is ondansetron. And here in the United States we call it Zofran. Ondansetron, generic name, Zofran, brand name. Remember those patients who has to go for colonoscopy next day? We gotta kind of miss the PEG drink, like a whole 1,500 milliliter of a jar, and they gotta drink. That is actually the generic name of that. Actually, is polyethylene glycol. So polyethylene glycol, PEG. So we call it PEG drink, right, in Singapore. But here we call it Marilex. Okay? PEG, polyethylene glycol. Brand name is Marilex in the United States. There's another drug, it's called buspirone. That's generic name, buspirone, and it's to treat the anxiety. So buspirone, but the brand name is Buspar. Buspirone, Buspar. Buspirone or Buspar is for anxiety. You might know this one. This is antibiotic, and I remember I called this antibiotic Rocephin as well. I used to call that Rocephin, but like I said, I have this whole video about generic name and the brand name. So let's just include this one too. Ceftriaxone. Ceftriaxone is the generic name, and Rocephin is the brand name. That's the broad-spectrum antibiotic. Ceftriaxone or Rocephin. You need to know ceftriaxone at least, because most of your machine that the machine that you have to put in the data what medicine you are running is for you to type in the ceftriaxone. It don't start with Rocephin, it says ceftriaxone. So you might probably need to know that. Another medicine is hydralazine. It only has one name, hydralazine, and that's to treat the blood pressure, high blood pressure. So hydralazine, and it is easily to be mistaken with hydroxyzine. Hydroxyzine. Hydroxyzine has another name, another name which is the brand name, Atarax. So hydralazine is for the blood pressure, high blood pressure. Hydroxyzine, the brand name Atarax, is for like itchiness. It's the antihistamine. Okay, the other one is for the blood pressure, the hydroxyzine Atarax. Atarax is the brand name. Hydroxyzine is the generic name. So that one is for treatment of like itchiness and what else? Allergies, skin rashes, hive, anxiety, nausea, vomiting. This medicine, you probably need to memorize it because I used to call this medicine hydromorphone. Hydromorphone is a very strong painkiller and it is a narcotic drug. It is a controlled drug, hydromorphone. Here in the United States, we call it Dilaudid. Dilaudid. Some patients are very addicted to Dilaudid and they will set the alarm and ask you for Dilaudid. If it is 4 hourly, 5 minutes before 4, they press the call button and they will call you and they will say, I'm having pain, 10 out of 10 or something like that, to get that Dilaudid, okay, which is hydromorphone is generic name, Dilaudid is the brand name in the United States. Another medicine is hydroxychloroquine. Long name, right? Here we call it Plequenol. Hydroxychloroquine or Plequenol is a brand name. Hydroxychloroquine, brand name is Plequenol. That is used and treated for the autoimmune disease such as rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. Hydroxychloroquine or Plequenol. Are you ready for another pain medicine? It is Ketorolac. Ketorolac is the generic name, but we call it here in the United States Toradol. Toradol. Ketorolac or Toradol. It is to treat the pain, but it's more like a medium pain. And I used to have a patient who just can't go with the hydromorphone, Dilaudid. She keep throwing up. Doesn't matter with the ondansetron or Zofran being keep giving. She just don't like that Dilaudid or hydromorphone. So we give her Ketorolac, Toradol. It works. This medicine is antibiotic. I believe you already know this brand name. The generic name is metronidazole. Antibiotic names are a little long, metronidazole, but the brand name is Flagyl. I remember I called that Flagyl in Singapore too. Metronidazole or Flagyl. You know morphine, right? And it is also called morphine here too, so it's not a problem. But naloxone, that's the reversal of the morphine. If someone got morphine overdose, we can give naloxone. Here, naloxone is called Narcan. So naloxone, Narcan. Naloxone, generic name, Narcan, brand name we use in the United States. Time to talk about antipsychotic. And this medicine, I remember I used to call olanzapine in Singapore. But here we call it in United States Zyprexa. Olanzapine or Zyprexa is antipsychotic, is to treat bipolar disease. Olanzapine or Zyprexa. Olanzapine, Zyprexa. Another medicine is pantoprazole. Pantoprazole is generic name. The brand name is Protonix. It is the proton pump inhibitor. It is to treat GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. Okay. Pantoprazole, Protonix. Pantoprazole, Protonix. Another medicine is called prazosin. Prazosin is the generic name. We call it here in the United States Minipress. You got like, hold on a second, low pressure, Minipress, you know, it's kind of easier name. So prazosin Minipress. Prazosin Minipress. Prazosin is used for the high blood pressure or urinary retention. So prazosin Minipress. Okay, next. The medicine name is prochlorperazine. That's what I used to go by. Prochlorperazine. That's to treat nausea and vomiting. Prochlorperazine, here we call it Compazine. Prochlorperazine, Compazine. Prochlorperazine, Compazine. Warfarin is the generic name. Here we call it Coumadin. Warfarin, Coumadin. But for heparin, we just call heparin here too. So warfarin, Coumadin, heparin, heparin. Warfarin, Coumadin, heparin, heparin. We have the sleep pill here in the United States called Zolpidem. Zolpidem is called in the brand name that Ambien. Zolpidem, Ambien. Zolpidem, Ambien. Zolpidem, Ambien. Is the sleeping pill. It acts quicker, but it won't help you to sleep longer. Okay, we also have another sleeping pill, very common one is melatonin. Melatonin, melatonin. It used to call melatonin. I here call it melatonin as well. Another medicine is fluoxetine. Fluoxetine. That's the generic name, fluoxetine. Here we call it Prozac. Prozac. Fluoxetine, Prozac. That's to use for depression. And to treat for depression and OCD, bulimia nervosa, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, and panic disorder. Fluoxetine, Prozac. Are you ready for another treatment of the anxiety and depression? That is alprazolam. Alprazolam is generic name. Here we call it Xanax. Alprazolam, Xanax. Alprazolam, Xanax. They are the, I just told you about fluoxetine, right, and Prozac. So fluoxetine, Prozac, they're the same. Alprazolam and Xanax, they're the same. But fluoxetine and alprazolam, they're not the same. They treat for the same thing, depression and anxiety, but from the different class of the medicine. This video is very boring, isn't it? Because most of the thing you have to memorize it. Like it or not, is there any sense or not, you still gotta memorize it. And you want to make sure that when you heard things, you remember it right away. It's not really easy that way. So you just have to keep watching the video, keep listening to it, keep absorbing in your head and ears, and the mouth try to kind of practice up for it. So I hate pharmacology, okay? That's why I respect so much to those people who deal with drugs. Not the drug dealer, okay? I'm talking about pharmacists, okay? Salute to pharmacists. But pharmacology is not my thing, so I have to double work hard for that. There's no easy way. So just keep watching, okay? And if I have more medicine that I think is like kind of different that you have to memorize it, or I have to memorize it, I will do the video as well. This video is solely for this person, which is me, okay, because I'm looking at myself in the video, and I'm doing the video for myself so I can keep listening when I'm driving, so I will get a hang of it, okay? So thank you for watching, thank you for learning, and we are making the world better together as the nurses.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing, so cold.